Right, so today I want to talk about this tweet from Dinesh D'Souza, who's again a very good follow on Twitter if you don't follow him. He says the notion that colleges and universities are continuing to teach online is a fiction. They're pretending to teach and students are pretending to learn. The only real aspect to all of this is that parents continue to be charged tuition. Again, there's many aspects to this. I mean, number one is the aspect that it's looking like most, in fact, I've hardly seen any that are going to have in-person classes um, this coming semester and probably even the next semester as well. And the main thing I wanted to bring up, I mean, for starters, the money thing. I mean, this is one of the big things that a lot of people are talking about is, oh, well, we're going to be, we're only getting online classes, but we're still charged the same for tuition. And this is something that's incredibly boring to talk about because, again, there's been people like me that have been talking about this for like decades now. But I've been talking about it since I've been making the videos, and college is expensive for a handful of reasons. I mean, the first one being is that we live in an age where anybody can go to college because um, if you can't afford it, well, guess what? The government steps in and will give you unlimited amounts of money to go to college. And what happens when the government steps in and said, "Yeah, we'll give you however much money you need to go to college through student loans"? What happens is the colleges recognize that and be like, "Hey, these people can pay whatever we need them to pay. We're just going to keep jacking up our prices." So that is the main reason why college is so expensive. Now, the reason why nobody talks about that is that the left has this worldview that, oh, you need to go to college. And I mean, there's still a large percentage of people that don't think, oh, you need to go to college to be successful and to get a good job and all that garbage, which is largely untrue. I mean, it's largely untrue. The idea that I mean, for some jobs, this is definitely true. So people make this blatant statement, even though I never say it, that, oh, you think nobody should go to college. No, I'm not saying. I think you take your doctors, your lawyers, those kind of, those kind of fields. Yeah, people should be going to college. But what I'm talking about is um, the tech fields, the business fields, that kind of stuff. There's literally no need whatsoever to go to college. Like, and for the and let's just think about it like this too, because nobody thinks about it like this. Um, let's say you take I think the average person, even it's a 4-year degree, the average person I think takes 5 years to do it. So you take 5 years of your life, you probably go into debt 6 figures, and if you don't, then you lost money that either your parents spent or money that you would save. So either way, it's a 6-figure endeavor at least. Um, and like I say, you lost 5 years of your life. Are you honestly telling me that, let's say, to get an accounting degree, like to learn how to become an accountant, that the most effective way of doing it is to spend 5 years of your life and 6 figures to do that? Like, are you honestly, like, you honestly believe that? Like, people honestly believe that? Like, you have to be beyond insane, because I guarantee you, if I went up to, a professional, accounting firm, and I said, hey, teach me everything it costs, or teach me everything that it needs, that you need to, let's just say college degree is completely irrelevant, you no longer need a degree or a diploma or whatever, teach me everything that you need to become an accountant, and I can pay you. um, I guarantee you that they could do it at the very most half the time, and for at the very most half the price. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So the reality is that you don't need to do this kind of stuff. So where's the hiccup? Well, the hiccup is there's no competition right now. There needs to be competition, and in the future, I would be very shocked if people actually go to college for some of these. And a lot of these jobs, you shouldn't even need. Like, I mean, you look at like hairdressers and stuff. Like, why in the world you need a higher education to do that? No, you you apprentice, and you start out on like little kids and, like, people who don't care if you screw up on their hair, and because of that, you charge next to nothing, and as you get better, you work your way up and you make more money. Like, I don't, like, not to mention too, like, why do you need a license to become a hairdresser too? Like, this is one of the many reasons why prices of things like that are so effective because the government steps in and be like, hey, you need to have licenses and you need to have this and you need to have that. So what happens is someone who wants to open a business for these needs to get all these licenses and accreditations and all this stuff crap. And because it costs them quite a bit of time and money to do it, they need to charge more for the product, which means you pay more. So again, um, getting rid of college for a lot of this stuff, not only would people earn more money and earn it sooner, but it would be cheaper because people don't have so much overhead. Again, if you walk out of school with, you walk out of school with $100,000 in debt, you're probably going to have to earn more money coming out of college than someone who has no debt or someone who has like 20, 30,000 in debt because you need to pay that money off because you're paying interest on that, right? So this is one of the things too that I think this is something that we can all agree on is that um, if you can, I mean, if you can, any way of making it more effective, we should do as a society. But the problem is the reality is that so many people are brainwashed into thinking that college is completely relevant. And this is something that I hope that more people will wake up to in the coming year, and maybe more. We'll see how crazy the government wants to get. I mean, they already are crazy, but I really hope that people see just how irrelevant public school and universities are because they're terrible. They're terrible. Now, like I say too, there obviously is some good public school teachers and there's some stuff you learn in public schools that is valuable. There's some stuff you learn in university that is valuable, but the problem being is that the amount of time, money, and effort spent, it doesn't you don't even come close to learning the skills that you should based off the amount of time and effort spent. So the reality is that what should happen is that, hey, if you want to become, hey, say an accountant, what should happen in a better world that's better for employers and employees and for everyone is you would get on at a accounting firm, and again they would vet you and be confident that you're good enough to make it through, and you would do one of two things. You would either work for free um, until you are competent enough to become an accountant. And again, all you would be under contracts or to where businesses, again, this is the one thing that the left, that a lot of people would bring up is, oh, businesses will exploit people and they'll just get free labor. No, what would happen is you would be under contract to where, let's just say you were hired on there and under the guise that you wanted to become an accountant, you would still keep track of your hours. And if they decided, hey, we're just going to let you go, they would have to pay you for said hours. Or the other thing would be, hey, they would come in, they would pay you minimum wage, and then when you got on permanently, they would just take money out of your paycheck until whatever amount owed was paid back. Again, not and there's many benefits of that. Number one, people would end up with no debt or next to no debt. I mean, if you play your cards right, you would possibly even make money while going to school, depending on the person. But the thing is too is that no one would have debt. Like no one would have debt. So that is the benefit to that too. And the other thing too is that you would have marketable life skills too. Like it doesn't make any sense, the whole university thing. It's such a farce. It's not even funny. Now, again, the reality is too that so many people are brainwashed into thinking that university degrees are so valuable. Is I don't in that I don't think that things are going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. But again, the other point I wanted to get to is the fact that they're continuing to teach. The reality is that public school teachers and university professors know that they're not doing a whole heck of a lot to help people on average, especially the public school teachers. I think university professors are a little bit different in that they tend to actually be teaching people marketable life skills. I mean, aside from the whole communist garbage that they usually teach. Um, and again, it depends on the degree as well. But the reality is too is that the public school teachers and the university professors have drank the Kool-Aid. They believe their own lies that they're super valuable to society, but the reality is that they're not. And because it's gotten to their head so much, they think that they can be like, hey, yeah, we should get full salary and have to work even less than we already do. That's pretty much what they're saying by doing this kind of stuff. Now, again, I'm not a fan of the whole brainwashing thing. I think in an ideal world, you homeschool your kids and you don't go to university. But the problem is that's not always realistic. But if it is realistic, that's definitely what people should be doing. But anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to bring up today. But again, he points out a very good point too. Like, um, most of these people should just stop going. Like they should just stop, guys. And by that I mean and public schools too. Like if you can go to a private school, go to a private school. If you can be homeschooled, be homeschooled. Like it's like the only way to push back against all this brainwashing garbage is to stop going. Like it's just to stop going. And that's the problem too, is that until more people do that, nothing's really ever going to change. So that's what I wanted to bring up today. So if you like the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Check out my PayPal and email. I got linked in the description again. I appreciate any donations, but at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And last few things, check me out on Parlay, Twitter, and BitChute. All those links are in the description, so you can find them all there.